Welcome, everyone. It's time for the National STOL Series at Outlaw STOL 2023. We're just about cleared for takeoff here at Somerton Airport. 54 Alpha Zulu on your sectional. Right against the U.S. and Mexico border. We're underneath the Marine Corps Air Station Yuma airspace today, and we'll be landing in the shadows of their F-35 stealth fighters. Competitors today will be launching off of runway 1735. It's 3,000 feet long and 60 feet wide, and yes, that's right, it's a hard surface runway. National STOL pilots are used to turf and dirt, so we'll see how that affects the stopping distances today. It's the second year for Outlaw National STOL. Last year, conditions were extremely favorable for low scores with howling winds. The forecast is less aggressive with the winds this year, but every plane will still be coated in a layer of dust. And, of course, every pilot will have to compete with the sweltering desert heat and high-density altitude. Last year, Steve Henry in Yeehaw 6 took off in an incredible 6 feet. This year, Hal Stockman coming to show us some new things in his Rans S7S in the Unlimited class. Another STOL legend, CeCe Pocock. He's here in his Cessna 170B. Andrew Patry brought home gold last year. Can he do it again against Brandon Korn and Jeff Abrams, who are already ahead in season points from Swamp STOL? Lastly, keep an eye on rookie Justin Tisdale against heavy competition in the sport class. A fun story to watch there indeed. Lots of newcomers here in Somerton, which means lots of excitement. Everyone is eager to get lots of points on the board, especially while some of the heavier hitters are napping. It's time for some desert flying action here at National STOL's Outlaw STOL. The pattern is clear. The line is painted. Let's kick things off.
Doesn't matter. And welcome back to Outlaw. It's the afternoon session.
Woo!
Ate a big lunch.
I ate a good lunch. I drank a lot of water. I don't know if you can tell. I'm kind of feeling it.
It is a bit more aggressive heat-wise today than yesterday. Practice, we got to see a lot of wind, and it felt hot. But today it is oppressive here in the blazing Yuma sun.
The blazing Yuma sun just north of Mexico. Which way is Mexico?
North
It's kind
and
of
east.
every day. We're right by Mexico. And, man, so Eric, we had an amazing first half of the competition this morning. Lots of people putting up a lot of great scores. And the other thing that happened is conditions got really variable towards the end.
Super variable. We saw some really aggressive movements there, especially in our unlimited exposition class, that zenith skittering nearly off the runway. Wild to watch, very exciting, very much one of those things that you got to be ready for. You got to be ready for that win, and that's why we come out here. That's why we train, and that's why we continue to hone pilot skill here at National STOL.
You know, it's interesting, in the pilot briefing, the question came up, what happens if there's a dust devil? I mean, the answer was go around. But that's like a real consideration here in the desert.
It is a real consideration, and the answer usually is go around, but unless you're Jimmy O'Neill, in which case you just land right through it, which happened yesterday in practice.
It did happen yesterday.
Absolutely wild to see these guys who are just showcasing really excellent skill and decision-making capability. We actually had a lot of go-arounds yesterday, and today we haven't seen nearly as many, which has been very interesting. We've got the timing and the spacing down right. And right now, coming down the runway, Corey Robin, who's been sitting in this chair all day, is playing around, taking some kids for rides in Ghost, the Carbon Cub.
Yeah, he's showing us what he can do. You know, he's very humble. He's been sitting next to me all day, and I was kind of like, hey, you're kind of a legend of STOL too. You're out there on the YouTube making videos, inspiring people to fly. And he's like, nah, man, like I'm just here to enjoy this experience. So really cool to have him. Special treat to have him next to me and to have him for all of us here in Somerton.
Well, and that's one of the beauties of being able to be here and share just the years and years of experience. And you and I both fly, but we don't fly backcountry the way that these guys do. And that experience, I was telling someone at lunch, Corey and I flying around in Utah and Ghost and landing on the side of hills and climbing up mountains and just the crazy experiences that you can only get in the backcountry and we get to have a taste of right here at National STOL. But let's talk a little bit about what's about to come up, because we're going to run it back, right? We're going to go back to the basics from our rookie class all the way through to that unlimited. And I'm pretty excited to watch these guys as the winds have shifted so dramatically.
Yeah, so the conditions are going to be the big variable, but the other big variable is everyone's gotten a lot of practice in between yesterday and then this morning in the first 3 rounds. Now we're going to take the best of the 6 total. They'll have 6 by the end of it. Here's Corey coming around again, low and to your right, folks. You can see him on the camera there. So we've got 6 rounds total, and it's still the best round between either this morning or this afternoon.
And that changes things up. You know, a lot of times, for years, we've been a 3-round competition. You fly your 3 runs, you see how things are going, but not so anymore. We want to give more opportunity for these pilots to show off their skills and to really get tuned up. So this afternoon, while we had all of this fun in the morning, this afternoon, we're going to see exactly what these guys can do as Corey just greases it in. This giant 35-inch Alaskan bush wheels going to work, and his Titan 0340 Carbon Cub Edition motor dragging her back into the sky. Love to watch it.
Yeah, just a showman in the air there. Maybe we should walk through a little bit of what we saw this first half of the day. So in the rookie class, really exciting to see 2 things. One, you got the local, right from Somerton here, John Staines, who's helping us put on Outlaw STOL, competing in his 182. Really fun to see him. Lowest score of 429.
429 in this beautiful, maxed out, freaking incredibly powerful 550 Lycoming in that airplane. And that's an incredible score if you actually think about what that airplane can do.
Yeah, the size of the airplane. The other thing that we have to talk about is, we talked about it yesterday, Joe Eiting in the Rans S7, the kind of a famous aircraft built by Hal Stockman.
Grasshopper 2.
Heard from Corey that Joe is feeling a little nervous about today, but look at his performance in the rookie class. He's in first place currently with a total combined score of 256. Now, that is nothing to sneeze at.
Corey now on the right, high-speed pass, showing us what a Super Cub can do. He's moving, boys. I just love the sound of airplanes, man.
Sound of airplanes,
makes me happy.
for sure. Over in the touring class, that, if you remember correctly, that is Brandon Korn and Jeff Abrams kind of fighting it out. Brandon Korn just showing us another really big, heavy airplane doing amazing things. He, at one point, had an 80-foot takeoff. His lowest total
looks like 271 feet.
71. And then the best one for Jeff Abrams, 459.
459 indeed. And one of the cool things here is we actually had a malfunction. So our power went out, which means our stream went down, which means our cameras went down, which means the scoring went down. So Jeff Abrams actually only got 2 scored runs in the first session. So today he's going to be doing 4 runs, allowing him to get that score back. So he's going to be able to see if he actually can top the numbers that Brandon Korn's putting down with that beautiful 205.
Now, in the backcountry class, you've got Steve Radenbaugh and Jimmy O'Brien. That's the Citabria and the Champ fighting and duking it out. The Champ on top right now. Jimmy O'Brien on top with 231 as his best run. And then Steve Radenbaugh in the Citabria. It's interesting. Those 2 aircraft, basically the Champ, the grandfather of the Citabria backcountry. 375 for Steve right there.
It's amazing to see that Champ perform the way it is. And obviously he's got shocks. It's built right for it. But it's really impressive numbers out of an airplane that most people wouldn't consider for its backcountry performance.
Absolutely. Over to the adventure class, CC Pocock, showing us why he's the guy that could write a book about this with 160-foot for his best run in. Now, you're going to hear CC's name a bunch. This is touring class. And now 422 for that STOL King. Glenn David, the pilot of that from Ash Fork, Arizona. STOL King, a very unique and rare aircraft. You can see the rookie class now taxiing out to be released. While they do that, let's talk about the sport class. We have a bet going on.
I'm winning the bet right now, brother.
Winning the bet right now. We were talking about Brian Moore versus Jimmy O'Neill. Jimmy O'Neill right now in front of Brian. Jimmy's got 171 to Brian's 275. Ahead of Brian, though.
You got to bring him up, guys. Frank Knapp, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, the legend of legends is what we were calling him this morning. I also wanted to point out Chad Wirtz in the Cub Crafters Sport Cub. Also, look at this tight score. 226. So they're starting to group up pretty tight, with exception of Frank. Frank's kind of brought a helicopter to a plane
indeed.
fight, basically.
Absolutely love watching Frank fly. I have since, for years, right? And
Yeah.
seeing him really just outperform with a 41-foot landing and a 55-foot takeoff. These are numbers that should have any competitor running scared, and it sure makes it a lot of fun to watch.
Last but certainly not least, unlimited. This is where anything goes, any airplane goes. CC Pocock running in that as well with a combined score of 160. Jimmy O'Neill, after getting some practice in himself in the earlier rounds, 10 feet behind him with 170.
And you know what's really fun about that is Jimmy is one of CC's students. So this might be the moment where we get to see the student defeat the master.
I hope that happens. That's a good story. Jerry Fletcher bringing up the rear on that one with 361. A lot of DQs in that unlimited class. Corey and I talked about how that might be just the aggressive competition happening there. Also, the wins were getting weird.
They were, and now they're weirder.
They're getting weirder right now. So I don't think we saw a fair shake of what Jerry's capable of, if I'm honest. We need to figure things out.
Apparently, we're showing 107 degrees outside. We just heard from the booth. I don't know if that's a feels like temperature, but I can agree that it does feel about like 107. On the roll now.
Back to the rookie class.
Jonathan Staines, that beautiful 182, rotating, bounces the tail.
John Staines, of course, you've seen him walking around with those big arms. Big arm man.
Is a military guy. He's actually one of 850 or so free fall instructors. So he is here in Yuma working hard as a contractor, and he has his own drop zone as well.
Now, Steve Redenbaugh at the line. 2022 Citabria 180 High Country Explorer.
Drops that right wheel just a touch. That's going to increase his score more than he likes.
Here's the current leader, Joe Elling, 2011 Rands S7.
With a motor built by the legend himself.
The most famous man not on the internet.
Most famous man on the internet that's not on the internet.
Listen to it purr. Roar? More of a roar. Here he goes.
It's a roar. Pulled a little early, translated that energy into the aircraft, not into the sky. That's all right, though. He's pulling it back off. Now our airport manager, Eric, in this beautiful Taylorcraft, BC-12D. It's a 1946. I almost bought one of these, and then I realized I don't fit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd fit either. I love the way the small horsepower engines from these early aircraft sound.
It is a special sound indeed. It reminds me of my childhood. Trying to pull it off the ground, gentle as can be, really nursing it now. As you guys can see from the flags, the winds are down significantly right now from what we saw earlier in the day. And what we saw yesterday was that usually means there's going to be a giant windstorm or thermal passing through shortly.
That's just what happens here at Somerton Airport in the shadow of Yuma International Airport. We can't thank them enough for their help. We literally are underneath their airspace here at Somerton. Only 300 feet above us is where their airspace begins. Yuma International Airport Brewers Restaurant Sports Bar at Yuma International Airport is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and offers an incredible menu. Brewers Upper Level Skybox offers amazing airfield views. That might be worth checking out with the air station operating
100%.
right there. And you can watch your favorite sports event and hold a birthday celebration. Have extra fun at Brewers Airport location at Yuma International Airport. Speaking of Yuma, one last time, F-35 above us while John Staines scratches.
While John Staines scratches. And I want to point out, the flags are still. There's very little wind out there. He was coming in as hot as he had to in that 182. Now on approach, the beautiful airplane of my youth. This is the airplane I had my first solo in, so I have a big hankering for these Citabrias. And watching Steve fly it this weekend has been such a joy. Every opportunity to practice, every time he can get out there. He even signed up for 2 classes because he wanted to fly more. I love to see people with that enthusiasm.
Burned a ton of avgas this weekend.
Those poor dinosaurs.
Yeah, turning dinosaurs into fun. That's Steve.
100% as he brings it in now. The winds are really switchy. I'm seeing flags pointing every direction. It's good.
Giving up a lot on that bounce.
Trying to translate that friction. Get it on the ground, get it stopped. Good. Judged, and on to the next. Big hello to Travis from Wayne, Nebraska. We'll be there in Wayne in just a month or so. I'm super excited for the very first ever Wayne America fly-in with National STOL and STOL Drag. It is going to be the place to be in the United States if you like airplanes that can do cool things like this one. Grasshopper 2 inbound from the right. Really milking it in this time.
Oh, big balloon there. Gears soaking it up pretty okay, but giving up a lot of footage again on those bounces.
One of the things I love about that airplane in particular is you can see into the cockpit so easily. On that bounce, you watch his whole body flex, and he's like, oh, here comes another one.
Hang on.
Awesome to watch. Eric Saltzer now on approach, and since he's done having fun, I'm going to put my friend Corey Robin back in this hot seat. And allow
Like literally, it's literally hot here.
It is literally the hot seat.
Literally hot
guys,
seat.
Guys, enjoy the dulcet tones of Corey Robin as he explains more about backcountry aviation.
Here comes Eric Saltzer low and to your right in that Taylorcraft. The Taylorcraft, again, a little bit of a floater, right? We talk about the other aircraft in that genre. You got the J3 Cubs, you got the Champs. Taylorcraft's got a more efficient wing, means faster cruise speed, but also means that sometimes harder to get it stopped and down on landing. And he's rolling way out there. Keeping that tail up, though, that's nice. Lowest score for that Tailcraft, by the way, so far, 463 feet. While they taxi back, let's talk about some other people that have made this possible. We got to talk about Coco Pa Resort and Casino. Again, they're just 0.3 miles from Somerton Airport. You can see it from here. That's where our pilots have been put up, taking great care of us. We had a great dinner at the steakhouse Thursday evening. We also have to thank Quail Corporation. They're a construction company serving Arizona since 1999. They donated all the cones and the lighted road signs to help us find this place and keep everyone safe. Skydive San Luis, Jonathan Stain's company, he's pulling to the line right now. They established Outlaw and brought National STOL in last year to start running the event. Hope you get some delicious food from the food trucks. That's Mariscos El Mirador and Load 'em Up Fries. I didn't get any of the fries. I would love some of those fries. I want to know what they taste like. I want to check it out. And then we've talked about the competitor, but Mr. O'Neill USA, Jimmy O'Neill is flying in the sport class. He owns that company, and they donated some prizes for the event. Here comes John Staines, almost hitting the tail on takeoff. He's getting that dialed in real nice. I'm hearing the judges shouting over to each other. 2, 2, 3 on the takeoff is what I heard there. Here's Steve Radenbaugh, all the way from LA, California. Little bit early on the bite. The plane wasn't quite ready to fly. But now he's nursing it off in that ground effect. Yesterday we did a little Aviation 101. Ground effect, of course. Basically, the Explain It Like I'm 5 version is that when you get about a half a wingspan from the ground, airplane just flying a little easier. The drag is reduced. The wings are flying a little bit better, so helps you get into the air a little bit easier. Here we go. Joe on the roll. Just kind of floating off. Maybe could have been more aggressive on that. We had someone who took a bite a little too early with Steve Radenbaugh, someone who maybe could have taken a more dramatic bite of angle of attack. Angle of attack is the angle at which the air is hitting the wing. Want to see that? That's what makes the plane fly. You got to grab that bite at just the right moment. Different pilots do it different ways. I don't know, Corey, how you do it, but I've heard that some pilots sing songs in their head or count to a certain number to know when they should yank back on the stick.
Yeah, Freebird for me.
It's Freebird. Of
Freebird.
course it's Freebird for you.
I mean, my last name's Robin.
I get it.
I've kind of leveraged that my whole life.
I get it. I get it. There was Eric Seltzer in the Taylor Craft, and we've got John Staines turning base to final right now. Let's talk about Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance. Again, they've been a partner with National STOL since the beginning. They've got excellent customer service. They've been taking care of us, making sure that everything is covered, protected. They're aviation protected. That's Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance. Also can take a minute to talk about Legend Aircraft. Many pilots in the National STOL Series flying Legend Aircraft. It's not your grandfather's Cub anymore. It's your grandfather's Cub turned up to 1,000.
I mean, and quality. It is just a superb aircraft.
Coming in hot for John Staines right now. That's a lot of speed to give up.
I mean, the wind is dead.
Yeah,
Like, it is dead.
He has no choice. Let's be real. He has no choice.
And I'll be honest with you. I just gave a couple of rides, and so I've felt the air. It is challenging, legitimately challenging out there today. I mean, we pretty much have light and variable winds right now, so the scores are just going to be completely different than this morning.
Yeah, longer and longer and longer. You know, the pilot's hoping for heavier wind to shorten those distances, right? If you're new to aviation, it's actually not that different than a boat, right? Like a boat going upstream, you're fighting against that current. If you have a headwind, that's going to slow your ground speed. A nice balloon there.
You know, he has such a beautiful airplane. I just love it. And that landing was beautiful as well. He called a couple of audibles, made sure he got it down safe.
And also, look at the giant tires and the gear on that aircraft, just making short work of the little ditch next to the runway.
Lawnmower 2. Boingy boingy is the word of the day.
So we're really seeing that, right? We're really seeing that lack of headwind translating just all this excess speed for everyone to dissipate.
You know, and I just felt a little gust, and it was like heaven.
Yeah, what did they say, 107 degrees right now?
Oh, man. And I'll tell you. Okay, so it's been 4 miles an hour, gusting to 9, or maybe even in knots. I'm not sure what the weather station's reporting it in. But either way, light and variable conditions out here, which, you know, in the backcountry is okay, quite candidly. But for a STOL competition where you're trying to land as short as possible, it does present some unique challenges. As you can plainly see, these guys rolling out. Looks like he's going to go beyond the markers. All right, so we're waiting on this next round of competitors to line up and wait.
And what you're going to see here is, you noticed during the morning session we had a few technical difficulties with the power supply out to all our broadcast equipment, and that interrupted the scoring during the touring class. Jeff Abrams was unable to be scored on his second run, so to make it fair, he needs to get an extra run. So he's going to join this class right now to get his third, I guess the one that was missing, the third run from this morning, and then he's going to stick around for the touring class against Brandon Korn.
Yeah, so typically what happens, right, is the scores are inputted into the computer and they're uploaded to the cloud immediately. But right when he was taking off, we lost all power. So live feed, everything gone. We did keep his score, but we were unable to record his score. That's what happened.
Right.
Okay. Just making sure I understand what's going on.
There's officials in the booth that are tracking all this stuff. We're just
Hey, I got to tell you,
the meat in front of the camera.
Anytime I get to see Piperzilla, I mean, we get an extra round of Piperzilla.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. And it's great. You know, Jeff came up to me after this morning's runs, and he was like, "Hey, like I want to check my scores." And I was like, "Oh, I'll read you what I got." And he was like, "Yeah, I just want to know like if I can pull a little sooner." Like he's trying to dial it in based on the statistics. John Staines.
So if you remember, John this morning was taking off right around the 150 to 175 foot range, and that one was 250-ish. I wasn't really watching it like a hawk, but we can definitely see the scores are going to increase this afternoon. I don't know how that's going to affect the mental, the competition side of things,
right,
where the morning scores are clearly going to be probably the ones that stand at this point,
right,
unless the winds kick up a little bit.
And anything's possible here in the desert.
Right.
It could pick up for sure. I mean, we're definitely in the middle of that high noon heat.
Here we go with Lawnmower 2. The wind's starting. We've got it. It's kind of coming from his left a little bit, so we might see the left wing raise up a little bit, but the torque of the engine might help with that a little bit. We'll see.
I mean, and to your point, we'll talk about the scores in a second. Let's watch this takeoff. You gotta. It's amazing
beautiful.
what a few knots on the nose will do.
Right. We just saw it pick up. I'm going to ask the booth really quickly what the winds are.
Here's the Taylorcraft now on the roll. Easing the yoke back and then pushing it forward. You see him almost sink down back onto the turf. I say that every time. There's no turf here. There's just dirt and concrete.
That's correct. Okay, Piperzilla. This is his bonus round. So you're going to see him do this trip around the pattern, and then he will join up with the next group of pilots as well. That's beautiful. Even in these challenging conditions, you're seeing a Piper take off in 300 feet. That's just amazing.
Yeah, and something I've been thinking about a lot is, oh, here we go.
Nice winds.
John Staines.
Oh, he wasn't prepared for it. You see that?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for the wind coming back.
Yeah, touched down at about 180 feet there.
Not even, yeah, he's just going to let it roll. I mean, it's interesting. You were estimating, Corey, and you were right. I mean, takeoffs this morning for John were in the, it looks like the best one was 160 to 188 was his spread. This time, takeoffs 223 to 350. So that's a big difference thanks to the wind.
Yeah, and that really is a testament to having aeronautical knowledge as a backcountry pilot. The wind has a dramatic impact on the capabilities, the landing capabilities, and the takeoff capabilities of these aircraft, for sure. And this is a perfect demonstration of that, which is one of the reasons why we have National STOL. So these pilots can cut their teeth in a safe environment in diverse conditions and really learn what their airplane is going to do performance-wise before they take it out into the riskier backcountry.
Now we've got the Rands F7, another Arizona boy, Joe Elling there.
Yeah,
in race 808.
Heroes. Yeah, these next couple of guys are definitely here, local heroes. Lawnmower 2, nice low approach. The wind has kind of died down once again. Let's see what he can do. Looks very stable. Ooh, I'm not sure. She's calling that close. We might have to go to the replay.
Go to the replay on that one to see. It's interesting. We had a little bit of wind. Right now, we've got winds at 2 to 3 knots.
Oh, yeah, it's hardly anything. Here we go. Let's watch
minimal.
This replay. It's coming in. It looks perfect. Here we go.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know. That is such a tough call. We're going to leave it to the booth.
Close.
Oh, he's calling it scratch.
They're calling it a scratch. Ooh.
That is millimeters.
You got to have respect for
Oh my goodness.
our line judge when she knows. She's like, I don't know. I need help on that one. It was close.
You know,
Here's the Taylor craft.
that kind of thing just really makes me excited, though. That literally millimeters can mean the difference between a score and a DQ. And I love the instant replay you guys have implemented. It's just fantastic. All right, Piperzilla. On final, you can see his wig-wag lights on his wingtips, lighting his way home. Such a beautiful day. I'm having so much fun, Ryan. This is great.
I want to be clear. I've been complaining about the heat mostly for comedic effect. It is an awesome day.
It is beautiful. You know, I'm from Salt Lake City, and it is rainy, stormy. It's still winter in Utah.
Yeah, it's still winter in Wisconsin.
We had about 850 inches of snow this year, which we needed. We love it, and it's fantastic. All right. From the right, Piperzilla. He's a good stabilized approach. The winds are settled down a little bit once again, but these guys are figuring it out. Beautiful.
Not afraid to plop it in there.
Yeah, just land it like it's on an aircraft carrier.
Not about passenger comfort today. You know, interestingly enough, Jeff, in Piperzilla, he's flown a lot of famous people in his aircraft over the years. He flew Evel Knievel, President Jimmy Carter, Marie Osmond, Peter Frampton, some of the Rolling Stones, Howard Hughes on his last flight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a resume.
It is a resume. Evel Knievel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Peter Frampton, do you feel? You know that song? I love that song.
He's retired now and just living his best life.
It's fun to see Marie Osmond on there. She's also from Salt Lake City area, Utah County, just south of me. So that's pretty fun to see. So we're going to have a little break here as we get our next round of competitors ready to go.
So let's give you some results for the rookie class presented by Duke Propeller. Joe Eiling, first place, a rookie no more with his best score of 256. Right behind him, Steve Radenbaugh, 335. John Staines, third place, 429 for the best combined score for him. Eric Salter in the Taylorcraft with 463. And I think, you know, the rookie class, big spread in aircraft type. So it's not necessarily an apples-to-apples comparison when you compare Eric, say, to Joe. Those are two very different airplanes.
Very different airplanes, but congratulations to all four of these rookie pilots. You are rookies no more, right?
Rookies no more.
You've cut your teeth on it. You've put on a great show for us today, so thank you very much, Joe, Steve, John, and Ariel? Eric. Sorry.
Ariel.
There's a little glare on the screen.
A little glare on the screen there.
Ariel. Eric, congratulations. What a great job by the rookie class. Fantastic.
So we're going to head to commercial, and then we'll be right back to kick off touring.
Pod Casino and Resort. All the fun under the sun. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good. Let's meet up at the compound group up. At 10-4. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good little driver, straight on through.
This is actually my size, just in case you guys wanted to know.
And we're back here in Somerton, Arizona for Outlaw STOL, brought to you by National STOL. And I'm Ryan Dabrowski. I'm here with Corey Robin, and he's doing his best Darth Vader impression. Look at this helmet on your head here. You had to try it on. This is from FlightOutfitter.com.
Oh, yeah, it's super comfortable.
Is it good?
Oh, man, it fits my head. So if you guys are looking for somebody that, you want to give a helmet to, comfortable, lightweight. Who's the manufacturer of this one?
This is FlightOutfitter.com. Or Flight Helmet, FlightHelmet.com. Oh, man, got that wrong. FlightHelmet.com.
It's the noise canceling is unbelievable. The passive noise canceling. Just
already you
just
can
putting
feel
it
the
on,
FlightHelmet.com noise canceling.
comfortable.
This is one that's you can see if you flip around. It's got some stickers and stuff on it, but really, really great. You said it was light. Feels light.
Let me take it off and show you.
Okay, it's gonna show me. Okay, yeah.
I'll take it off. Show you.
There we go.
Put my headset back on.
So there you go. That's something you can pick up. FlightHelmet.com, one of our sponsors. We really appreciate their help this season.
Looks
you
like
can check that out.
Social
Order
Flight.
your own on FlightHelmet.com.
Socialflight.com on there.
Yeah, that's a
somehow
cool
helping
helmet logo there. Here goes Brandon Korn.
Beautiful.
Hitting the tail slightly, getting that 205 up into the air. Here's Piper Zilla taxiing up to the line.
Listen.
There goes Piper Zilla.
Here we go. Oh, still, man, he had to earn that takeoff. What a high density altitude day we're having today.
So while they come around the pattern, we can also talk about Sarasota Avionics. Sarasota Avionics, a long-term partner of National STOL, provides a lot of the excellent prizes. They're an authorized Garmin dealer and the #1 aircraft avionics installing dealer in the nation for panel mount GPS avionics systems, upfront pricing, superior service, expert consultants. This is your one-stop shop for your next avionics upgrade. And we actually have some of the stuff from them right now in the booth. This is the one that would excite me the most as a millennial.
What do you got there?
This goes in your panel.
Oh, is this the?
So you can power your devices.
Yeah, the USB port.
Right. You get the USB-C
Super important.
on there as well. You want to plug in your iPad or your phone or something like that.
In today's connected environment, you can't beat these accessories from Garmin, from Sarasota Avionics. You got the D2 Air X10 watch and a Garmin InReach Mini 2. These are all available at Sarasota Avionics, and these prizes will be given away.
Yeah, so these are for our competitors today. They all competing for those things. We've got a little pile of them. There we go. Nice.
Yeah.
I got to get one of these. This feels like
I
critical.
have one of those.
in
In the
InReach.
backcountry, it is absolutely critical, believe it or not. It's nice to have a device that can communicate to your loved ones or the people that care about you your exact location in the backcountry. Whether you're a backcountry pilot or you're just out adventuring, I highly recommend a Garmin InReach.
Oh, getting it locked up. He knew it was a good one.
That was fantastic from Piper Zilla.
Now we're still seeing the wind really playing, the lack of wind, I should say, really playing into this next six. You notice that, look at the combined score for Piper Zilla when he came back that bonus run we talked about, 1,000 foot combined, was, you know, this morning he was doing 459. This latest one, though, big improvement, 641. So nothing really holding a candle yet to this morning's. We need another one of those wind gusts to come through.
Yeah, we do. But you know, this is what it's all about. This is why we do what we do, is getting out here in these conditions and having a great time with our airplanes. You know, that airplane, I glanced over and I swear I saw a smile on the cowling.
Question from social. There was a question I just saw pop up on the feed from social. It was asking about the engines that the aircraft are running. Let's watch Brandon Korn take off, and you and I can talk about that. Tapping the tail on takeoff.
Yeah, I wonder if that's why he installed that tail skid.
Just so he knows he's not going to tear it off. And here's Piper Zilla coming up to the line. I think the question was about like what kind of engines are running, and I'll just briefly answer. Yeah, whether or not the engines are modified, and I think it just depends on the class, right? So in this touring class, you know, maybe a little tweaking here and there, but really where you see the heavy modification is in the experimental classes like Unlimited or Sport.
Right, these 182s, Piper Zilla, these certified aircraft, it's actually not legal to modify the engine unless you have an STC or the FAA's authorization. So really the only thing you can do to these aircraft is maybe tune the carb up, make sure that it's performing according to the specifications. But it's really the experimental classes and categories, the Hal Stockmans, the Steve Henrys, the Jason Busatts, which we hope to see at a competition this year with his new aircraft. But these are the guys really pushing the envelope, making these, you know, like the Yamaha Apex or the Apex motor, and they're pushing 300-400 horsepower out of these little engines. So yes, some of them are modified, but these certified aircraft, by and large, you can just go ahead and safely assume that they're stock for the most part. There are some horsepower upgrades you can do on certified. Like, for example, if you have a Cessna 180 or a 185, you can do a P-Ponk upgrade to it.
Sure.
So there are STC'd or certified modifications you can make to them.
My 172 has a power flow exhaust, adds a little tiny bit.
Yeah. But all these modifications on these certified aircraft require lots of testing and authorization from the FAA, and where the experimental categories do not have those limitations, for lack of a better term. But yeah, engines are definitely a great question and a good topic to talk about.
Tony Brum on social says, greetings everyone from Minnesota. Can't wait to see everyone up here in July. I'm hoping to be at that one. That one's nice and close for me coming from Wisconsin. There's Piper Zilla coming in hot. Heavy on the brakes, just squealing them.
Oh yeah, he was full lockdown. He's gonna have a flat spot on his tires. He is pushing hard. Look at the instant replay on this. Just
can't get any more compressed on that nose gear.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that's fair. Out of our dad gave me a choice. Probably that big green and yellow flag. It's not competing.
It's the last run now for touring at Outlaw STOL. Brandon Korn taking the line. Lots of other folks in social we have to say hi to. Ira Walker says, welcome, Corey. Good to see that you made it. People are going to like seeing you a lot.
Yeah, Ira is from Wyoming. He's a longtime aviator. A good guy. I interact with him all the time on social media, and I hope I get to meet him someday. That'd be kind of fun.
I got a few people I've got to say hi to as well. Some fans of Super Aero I see. I've got Ken Dodson, Clayton Starwalt. Ken was actually here last year. Great to see him in the chat. Ken and Clayton, thank you so much. Sheldon Hetherington.
Hey, Sheldon, what's up, brother? Good to see you. You know, we can definitely feel the heat as well. Sheldon comments, he says, I can feel the heat and dust through my phone.
Yeah, so yeah, dude, for real.
And I got to tell you, it feels so good. I love it down here.
Here comes Brandon Korn in that beautiful, beautiful airplane.
Wow.
Maybe making some sparks almost that time.
Yeah, just bouncing the tail off the ground on that takeoff. Fantastic. All righty.
There goes Piper Zilla now. Jeff Abrams trying to get past this nil wind and high heat. You know who's not dealing with the high heat, though, is our production crew in this trailer right next to us. They've got AC in there. Brought to you by USA Trailers Direct. They donated that for us. Look, you can see it on the stream there. They've got like a door, they've got like a whole room. You can see Tom Flannery, one of the owners, of waving at everybody there. Hey, Tom. Got the whole streaming set up there. The scoring officials all going inside there. So big thanks to USATrailersDirect.com for that.
Yeah, thank you, USADirectTrailers.com. That is an awesome donation to National STOL.
That's huge. It's huge, and it's exciting to see that get built out as the season goes on.
Really nice to see a good production center for the live stream and for the folks here that are in person as well. Really, really cool to see this happening. Oh, look at this beautiful airplane. It's big.
It's good. That was right on the line. Yeah, give him a round of applause for that one.
So beautiful. We got to see the replay on that one. That was spectacular. What a fantastic landing. And I got to tell you, I think the winds, I glanced down at the camera, or the wind right as he was landing, it said it was about 4 knots. So nothing was giving him.
Watching the tail skid drag across the line, too.
Fantastic.
Now here's Jeff Abrams for the final landing of the competition for him. Getting a little wind this time.
Yeah, he's got a little advantage, perhaps. There you go. Oh, fantastic.
Gave up a few feet compared to Brandon Korn on that one.
He's not okay. He got on the brakes there at the end. Fantastic. What a great round of competition.
So that's the touring class. These are the big airplanes, the touring airplanes. Actually, in this class, incidentally, you'd see like a 150 or 152 because they have the similar kind of performance spectrum. But these are the airplanes that a lot of us, you know what? Brandon's landing on the replay there, I wonder if his mains came off the ground in the back. I don't know, maybe I'm imagining that, but I'm hearing from the booth that they did come off. So yeah, it was a great landing. Let's recap then the scores for the touring class presented by FlightHelmet.com. For the touring class, Brandon Korn takes it with 271. Jeff Abrams, 459. So
this is an achievement for Brandon for sure. This is a heavy certified Cessna 205 putting in those numbers. That is impressive. Congratulations to both of those pilots in the touring class.
Now, while the next class lines up, and we'll get you the lineup for that in a minute, first, we had a pretty intense day of practice yesterday. We've got a little recap to show about how that went. We are back here in Outlaw STOL, Somerton, Arizona. Hot, 107 degrees, high density altitude, and it's time. Whoa, maybe I need to drink more water. It's time for the adventure class. CC Pocock at the line. I believe we're combining this class with the Bush class. So behind him, you've got Steve Radenbaugh and Jimmy O'Brien in the champ. So two Citabrias and CC up front.
Frank Knapp is sitting it out too. It's too hot. He's already won.
There's CC off the line, grabbing a bite. Doesn't matter that there's no wind to him.
Yeah, it was really interesting hearing the nitrous kick in. You hear him throttle up, and then it just kind of goes right there as he leaps from the line. Really fantastic takeoff from CC Pocock.
And our weather station actually reporting a bit more wind there. I was joking about him not having enough, but now we've got 12 and 13, 14 knots reported there.
Fantastic. I thought it cooled down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just blocking it for you, though.
Thank you.
There's Radenbaugh now off the line again in the backcountry class. And Jimmy O'Brien really wringing every ounce of performance off this 1956 champ.
Beautiful tail, high attitude, textbook right there. Absolutely beautiful. There we go. The wind is back, ladies and gentlemen. Loving it.
Don't jinx it. We need it. Everyone's happy to see it. Here's CC now on medium final.
Ooh. Can we put on?
Here's CC Pocock now just hovering it in again. Is he going to lose it? No, he's got enough power. And big size of everyone. He scratched it there. Scratch for CC. But he's got the room right now competitively to be doing that.
He sure does. CC's been doing fantastic all day, and really every competition. He's a very consistent pilot. A little bit of gusty winds playing into this approach. Look at that tail move around, those control surfaces. He is working very hard to get this landing done.
We were talking before about just the guy that's burning a lot of avgas to just put in a lot of time, get as much experience under his belt this weekend. There's no one putting in more time and effort than this guy.
I am wearing one of the lift helmets today. This one's light as well, very comfortable. This is also one of the National STOL sponsors.
Yeah, so this is, we're watching Jimmy come in here, but yeah, Lift Aviation USA provides a lot of these types of things for us. We've got displays, these helmets, right? This helmet on display. We're giving these away to the annual champion of each class at the end of the season. So pretty impressive there. You said it's also light. Love the carbon fiber on the top. Got to protect your melon, right? You're doing backcountry flying. Got to make sure that you're being safe and protecting yourself.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship. These guys really are doing a great job with their products, for sure.
Also, important to mention, behind us is a merch table. Sarah, wave to the camera. No, she doesn't want to wave to the camera. Go talk to Sarah and buy some merch. She's right back there, but she's embarrassed now. But she's back there, and she's going to help you buy some merch. If you want to get some National STOL merch, she's got these new shirts. Corey's wearing one right now. These wonderful new design with the new logo. There's also hats, neck gaiters. If you need something to help with the dust today, that's a great thing to do. So go check that out. Would love your assistance in help keeping the series alive. Here's CC Pocock now on the line.
He's got a little bit of wind. I'm excited to see him push it up right now. I had a little conversation with him at lunch, and he's excited about his aircraft performance. He told me he was going to step it up a little bit this afternoon. Wow! That was a fantastic takeoff. I am interested to see what the judges' scoring is on that one. That was absolutely spectacular. 102 feet.
102 feet. Now, notice we got some wind right now. Got some wind on our backs, which means it's on the front of these planes, helping them take off short.
Isn't it amazing the difference 14 knots will make? There he goes, right about 200, 210. Beautiful.
You're a more experienced bush pilot. You know, if you had any advice for Steve, let's say, who's running in the rookie class and now he's in this class as well, what advice would you have for him as you watched him perform today?
You know, just keep having fun. You know, keep practicing. It's just like anything else. You do something over and over and over, you're gonna get really competent. And that's the thing. Everybody wants everybody else to be competent in the backcountry. It's just a heck of a lot more fun when you feel safe, when you feel like you're capable of executing what your plan is. You know, I had the opportunity the night before last to camp near the rim of the Grand Canyon with my son in my airplane. And that, for me, right there, is what makes this so special, is because without competitions and training grounds like this for newcomers and experts alike, to come in and get the experience, get the skill in a safe environment, you're able to take it out into the wild. And that's what really excites me about it. So it's a safety thing for me, but it's also a lot of fun. So that's really the advice. Don't take it too seriously, but have fun, be competitive, challenge yourself, and just enjoy the process. Know your limits and know the limits of your equipment. And that's just kind of about it.
That's it.
There's no secret sauce to it.
Oh.
That was beautiful.
And
Great
a
job,
scratch. Beautiful, but a scratch called by Lexi on the line.
Just so close. I would like to see the replay on that.
You would like to see the replay. I think I would like to. Called scratch.
Oh, so close. Look at that.
Like 2 feet short, maybe.
Goodness. You can tell that right wheel touching down slightly before the left, telling you he did have that crosswind from the right slightly that had that wing down a little bit. So you'll probably see the same thing with this one. That was
over the line,
beautiful.
Bouncing off on the left side of the runway, getting it straightened out.
He was. I was watching the camera. That wingtip was pretty close.
Tomas on that camera right there has got to get ready to duck sometimes, I think.
You know, Tomas is I'm watching the feed, and I got to tell you, the National STOL crew is executing just as flawlessly as these pilots are. This is fantastic to watch and be a part of. All right, here's Jimmy.
Like it went right over him. There's Jimmy now.
Oh, fantastic!
Really well done.
Jimmy O'Neill there.
As they taxi back, we've got a bit of another STOL legend saying hello to us, and I don't know that you're used to this. I'm not. I think that maybe means that we've arrived. It's Chinook Valdez Special in the chat, but that's Dan Reynolds.
Yeah, you know.
Dan Reynolds says, "Hi Ryan and Corey, enjoying the show from the comforts of my hangar. Wish I could send you a blast of the blizzard that is happening right outside right now." He's up in Canada.
You know, brother, I just escaped from the winter in Salt Lake City. Just keep it up there, bro.
Yeah, you can keep it.
I'm loving this Arizona weather right now. This is
Maybe
amazing.
a degree. Send a degree down. It's like, take
Yeah.
the edge off for us, Dan. Dan, oh, man.
So good to see Dan on the internet watching us, though. He is usually here at the competitions, and he is one of the top guys in the world at STOL. So it's really awesome to see him participate in the live today.
Sun and Fun this year, he had a landing where he landed shorter than his airplane is long.
That's an amazing feat. I can't even quantify in my mind. Now, a legend in my mind, Steve Pierce just entered the chat, says he teaches stabilized approach but drags it in and scratches.
Oh, shots fired a little bit, Steve Pierce.
Shazam! You know, that's how it is, though. There is, and I think it's healthy to have a little bit of that camaraderie, that pushing each other, and, you know, the critiquing of each other is very important. I love it. So thanks for chiming in. Good to see you, brother.
There's CC now. They're calling it sub 100. Some other things in the chat that I think Silverbricks says, first time finding this, and I have no idea what's going on. Let me tell you, Silverbricks. So this is the National STOL Competition, National STOL Series. And basically what we're doing is a short takeoff and landing competition where you see here, airplanes taking off as short as possible. That would maybe could have been shorter, but taking off as short as possible, and we're measuring that takeoff distance from the line to where the wheels leave the ground. Then when pilots come back around and land, we want them to land at the line or beyond it, and we're measuring that distance from the line to where they stop, where the main wheels of their aircraft stop. Take those two numbers, the takeoff distance and the landing distance, and combine them together. That gets your composite score for a round. Then it's like golf.
Yep, you want
the
the
lowest number possible. You want to be the shortest possible between those two. So hopefully that works. There's some questions in there about how the aircraft are organized. They're organized in classes. So this right now is actually two classes competing at the same time. We've got the adventure class and the bush class, the backcountry class, competing together. And so CC Pocock now on short final. I am going to buy his book now.
You know, it is a good book. I have a signed copy myself.
I wonder if he'd sign a copy for me.
He
Probably
sure
not.
would. I bet he's got one in his airplane.
Because I've been...
He uses it for tail weight.
Oh, there we go. I've been announcing this whole time. Maybe he doesn't like what I said. He might not sign the copy.
Oh, no. I'm sure he would love to. Honestly, there's so much good information in there. I highly recommend it to any aviator, even if you're not interested in backcountry flying, because, you know, we can always get better, right?
Another scratch for CC on that one. I think really he knows he's got a healthy lead, so he's pushing really hard.
He really is, and it's good to see that in these later rounds, these guys really pushing hard, because if they're able to get it, that's the secret stuff. That's the sauce right there.
Notable thing to mention, by the way, Glenn David in the 2012 STOL King from Ash Fork, Arizona, decided to sit out. The, kind of a squirrely one there for our friend in the Satabria, but he got it under control.
You can see the wind coming from the right there. You got a little bit of a wing drop in there. That left wing decided to stop flying before the rest of the airplane.
And now we've got the champ. Jimmy O'Brien, 1956 champ from Moreno Valley, California. Holding it off. It's good.
Absolutely beautiful flying from Jimmy O'Neill. You know, I had an opportunity to take a couple of his kids for a ride today during lunch break. It was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. He really does the balance it on the mains thing really well.
You just said Jimmy O'Neill.
Okay, so now we've got the results presented by U.S. Trailers Direct for the Adventure class. CC Pocock from this morning, best takeoff 66 feet, Best landing 80 feet and 80 feet for a combined of 160. Glenn David, total 422 in the Stol King. Again, he sat out this afternoon's summer heat, spring heat. Then over to the Lag Gardner Aviation Insurance presenting our backcountry class, Jimmy O'Brien taking it with 231 combined. Steve Radenbaugh in that Citabria, 375.
Congratulations to those pilots. Thank you for coming out and putting on this great performance for us today and competing, making yourselves better and the aviation community better at the same time.
So we're going to go take a tiny little break for commercial. Then we'll be back with the sport class here in Somerton, Arizona.
When it's time to recover and paint your fabric-covered aircraft, look no further than AirTech Coatings. Since 1982, our FAA-approved system provides you with a shiny, durable, easy-to-apply product. The AirTech system has fewer steps than any other product on the market today, saving you both time and money. While using cutting-edge technology, we offer a wide range of products. Whether it's for work, play, antique, or aerobatic, we have you covered. Remember, we make paint fly.
And we're back here in sunny, man, I don't know if it could be more sunny than this, Somerton, Arizona for Outlaw STOL National STOL Competition Series. And I'm Ryan Dombrowski. Right next to me, a little starstruck, Corey Robin, no big deal, just hanging out with me, talking airplanes all day. What a cool thing for us just to get to geek out a little bit for a couple hours. And
Heck yes, man. It does not get better than National STOL. And we have a beautiful day, great competitors, fantastic action, safe flying. We're loving this.
So we're about to kick off the sport class. Sport class is the starting to get into the lighter aircraft, starting to get into things that are a little more experimental, and we can run through the lineup here. First up front in the Rands S7S, Brian Moore. Behind him, Chadwick Wirtz in the 2008 Cub Crafters Sport Cub from San Jose, California. Behind him, Justin Tisdale, 2021 Zenith 750 from Siloam Spring, Arkansas. Jimmy O'Neill in that 2016 Rands S20 Raven from Simi Valley, California. And there is a spot behind him where Frank Knapp may be. Frank, this morning, kind of destroying the pack in his Super Legend.
He put on a clinic, and I had a conversation with him during the break, and he's actually moving to Alaska tomorrow. So he had to actually fly back to his home about 40 miles away this afternoon so he can get ready to move back to Alaska. He lives in Alaska in the summer and down here in Arizona in the winters. And so he came down, put on a clinic this morning, and we'll see if his scores stand.
Well, we've been talking so far this afternoon. The wind really kind of dropped out from under us, so it's going to be more challenging for people to beat those scores. It's also hotter, so we have worse density altitude conditions. There's Chadwick.
There we go. Beautiful.
And for the folks at home, if you're not familiar with density altitude, I'll do the explain it like your 5 thing, and you can actually explain it, Corey. You know, basically, the hotter it is, the harder it is for the airplane to fly.
Right. It's just like stepping up in altitude. So, you know, when it's really hot, the air is thinner, and you need air to move over those wings, and you need air for that propeller to push. And when the air is thinner, it's just not as efficient. So the planes just don't perform as well. And that's essentially what density altitude is all about. Justin Tisdale, a fantastic takeoff. in the area of maybe 180 feet, which is really great for him. That's a fantastic score.
He's really improving all day today. If I'm not mistaken, he's also flying partial panel right now, which means that he's missing some instruments. He walked up to Frank Knapp this morning and said, I'm dealing with this issue. What do you think? And Frank's like, you shouldn't be looking at those things anyway. Just look outside, man. You got this. I was like, okay, there we go.
Yep. You know, he's been battling many issues. He's got a new airplane that he just built, and he is just taking the time that he needs to dial it in. And that's just what happens when you build an airplane. You know, there's always that period of time where you're breaking it in and learning it. And he's also a new pilot. So kudos to him for living the dream, setting the example for all of us, getting out there and doing it. This looks like a great approach, a little long perhaps.
Gave up about 80, 85 feet before touching down. Always good to get another one on the board, though. Put in perspective, what we're fighting against is Frank Knapp's clinic this morning, total of 96 feet.
Now, that's not 96 feet on takeoff alone or landing alone.
That's 96 feet combined.
That's a combined score of 96 total feet. Now, to put that into consideration, I think most homes are about 100 feet, 75 feet, something like that. So
sure.
He basically landed in the length of a home. That's pretty dang amazing. Sport Cub doing a fantastic job. You know, those airplanes just look like they fly around with joy. They just have a smile on their face, don't they?
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, again, that's another one talking about the conditions. Chadwick in that aircraft, again, talked to him this morning, and or yesterday actually during practice, and he said, yeah, my airplane feels 300 pounds heavier than it normally feels because of the way the conditions are right now. And I'm interested to see, you know, debriefing with him after the competition today, see if he started to feel more comfortable. He doesn't actually live that far from here. He's coming from San Jose, but he said it's such a difference, even just that short distance in the United States here in terms of conditions.
Oh, there you go. Bringing it in hot. You know, so you noticed he kind of bounced it a little bit there. He was a little hot, and he just wanted to get on the brakes so you can relax some of that back pressure, get your wheels on the ground so you can get into that effective braking range. Not dangerous at all. It looks sportier than it is, but he did go for a little bit of a ride there. That's what the fun is all about.
So far now, as the runs are coming in, you know, scores this afternoon, double-ish. Producer math, announcer math, double-ish from where they were this morning.
Dead accurate. Quite honestly, you're looking at these scores, they're all just about double. We don't quite have calm winds. Oh, here comes Jimmy. Oh, beautiful.
Held it off.
Beautiful little, increase of power right there at the end. Fantastic landing. I'm gonna guess maybe about 119-ish feet. We'll see what the scores come up with.
What was your guess?
About 119-ish?
It was 118. Good eyes, Corey.
Well, I've been doing it a while.
Well, they're taxing back. We got to talk about our friends at Rugged Radios. Rugged Radios have a background in off-roading and motorsport racing, but now they're making aircraft headsets as well. Here at National STOL, all of our air bosses and production staff use Rugged Radios. They're designed for dependable communication in any environment, and we just really appreciate their help with National STOL. It help us run the events safely, smoothly, efficiently, and accurately. So thank you again to Rugged Radios. So, you know, looking at the scores right now, Corey, we've got Jimmy O'Neill in that Rans S20. He's the only person who's kind of in striking distance of his morning scores. His morning scores, he actually had one. His first run this morning was 2:28, and this run this afternoon was 2:14. So he's actually in that same zone as he was.
Man, he's got it dialed in. That is amazing considering the conditions today. All right, the Sport Cub up to the line. Beautiful yellow aircraft, the classic Cub paint scheme on his modern carbon Sport Cub from Cub Crafters. Boy, I bet he just has a ball in that airplane. There you go.
Nice and short. So Chadwick is currently in 3rd place in the sport class with 2:26. We'll see if he can better that. Justin taking the right side of the runway to try to get a little bit of help from that crosswind. We see the flags blowing in the breeze there ever so slightly. Keeping it off, just nursing that nose down to keep it in ground effect. Came close to touching back down, but he saved it.
Beautiful control. I really like watching his improvement and his skill set really dial in. I cannot wait to take him out into the backcountry. Show him around my stomping grounds in Utah.
Someone in the chat's asking about asphalt versus sand here. Sand is too soft. Just a quick question from social. Andy Leahy asks, why do they opt to land in asphalt for Outlaw STOL rather than on the sand? And you keep hearing me misspeak and call it turf because I'm so used to turf. Checked with the judges and the officials, and really the biggest thing is that it would just be a dust storm. Just be so much dust. A lot of the sand's really soft here as well, but we'd be blowing around so much sand and dust it'd be hard to actually execute the competition. Here's Brian now.
And most of the venues that Outlaw STOL is located at, for the most part, is on grass.
Correct, yeah. Most of the National STOL events are, you think about event much later in this season, this summer, Sodbusters at Hartford Airport, just south of Oshkosh, one of the best turf runways you'll ever land on. Yeah. So that's what we're used to. Pilots like that, you can tell me why. I assume it's because it's just a little more forgiving.
It's much more forgiving, and because of that forgiveness, the little bit of slip that the turf gives you, it's a lot safer for these big tires that have this soft rubber, and it's also really good for the wear and tear of the tires. Beautiful Sport Cub approach and landing.
I'm really enjoying watching Chadwick fly.
Me too.
I know you are too. There's nothing better than time in a Cub.
It really is a special airframe design, and it is probably one of the most iconic and well-known of the general aviation aircraft. I think it's right up there with the word Cessna. Justin Tisdale's short approach. Looks like he's got very little wind on this one. Beautiful landing. I was watching him inside the cockpit holding onto the bars up above. Just was
trying to get the brakes heavier or something like that, hanging on.
I hope the camera's got that because he hits the brakes and he lets go of the stick. And
he's on a roller coaster.
That was pretty fun to watch. I got to admit that one.
I have to ask him what was going on there.
I'm glad you saw it too. That was funny. I love it.
Now, Jimmy O'Neill, low, short final. Cut that power.
Oh, that's a close one. Oh, it's a scratch.
Lexi's calling that a scratch on the line there.
Great attempt. He has been fantastic all day, and he's pushing hard.
And he's got to get some reps in now because he's also hanging out in the unlimited class. Yeah, just before the line on the landing there for Jimmy O'Neill. Currently in second place with 171 foot combined in the sport class. Now is a great time to talk about our friends at Yuma International Airport. Again, we can't thank them enough for all their help in pulling this together. Yuma International Airport wants you to have the best travel experience with convenient direct flights to Phoenix and Dallas-Fort Worth. You can enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Brewers before your flight. Enjoy the calm, relaxing atmosphere, and let your local airport family take care of you. Fly local and fly Yuma. I kind of want to go check out this Brewers restaurant there because I want to. It said earlier in some of the copy they gave us, mentioned how they've got a little skybox to watch the airfield while you dine, and that seems like a lot of fun with all the military aircraft coming in and out of that airport.
I sure love it when the airports put together restaurants and little observation areas to watch the airplanes, because that's where you'll find me.
Right?
Because I love them. That was a beautiful takeoff. I just can't get enough of this.
Here's Chadwick now, grabbing those flaps, just nursing it off. It's always harder to tell where the liftoff happens when it happens a little more slowly.
Yeah, he is a very smooth pilot, and I think his airframe appreciates that. All right, Justin Tisdale, he's got the cowling removed for cooling today, in case you were wondering about that. So, you know, when you're pushing your engine hard at these slow speeds, really helps with the cooling. Get that exposed. Looks a little rat rodish.
You know, watching Justin, I don't know if I'm qualified to make this assessment, but his takeoffs feel pretty accurate, pretty competitive. It's really for him, I think, dialing in and feeling safer, getting slower. It's not a slow flight competition. We don't want to be goofing around too slow, but he tends to carry a lot of speed into landing, and it feels like he could be bringing that back a bit to shorten his distances.
Yeah, he probably could, but that's going to come with experience. You know, that's not something you want to really push when you're a beginner, when you're, you know, he just barely in the last competition graduated from rookie class, if I'm not mistaken. So he is still learning the process, and so kudos to him for keeping it safe, keeping it inside of his limitations, because he knows those, right?
Sure.
He doesn't necessarily know what the aircraft can do yet because of his lack of experience in it. So it's just going to take some time. I suspect in about another 100 hours, maybe about another 200-300 landings, he is going to be much more dialed in. And so I'm really excited to see him in a month at Mayday STOL.
Yeah, what's going to happen in that month of practice?
Yeah, you know, he's going to spend time dialing it in, just like everybody else that's attending that show. And that's the nature of the season. You start to see the competency increase as the season goes on, and then you get into the final competition of the season, and that's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, and these guys have it just really dialed in. So stick around and stay tuned. If you're a fan, make sure you participate in all the upcoming live streams with the next one at Mayday STOL.
It ended in a scratch, but Chadwick just did a really nice slip. And I'm a sucker for a nice slip, especially by a Cub.
Yeah, I love the slip. I was given a couple of rides earlier and did about half the runway length in a slip. It was pretty fun.
I'm thinking about posting that on my Instagram
I think
stories.
You should.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah, I got a good shot of it.
It's pretty. I absolutely love giving rides. And so when the kids came up to me during the lunch break and I had about 15 minutes left before we came back on, I said, absolutely, go get your parents.
Yeah, let's make sure the parents are signed off.
But here comes Justin. Now let's watch and see if he does what you said he's going to do. He's got that extra cushion, that little extra margin of error. You're exactly right. And look at him hold on to those
Holding on to the top again. Just pushing those feet through the floor.
That is so much fun to watch in person. Oh, we love Justin. He's just so much fun to watch. And if you want to follow along his journey and his adventure as well, he has a YouTube channel. He's on Instagram. You can find him at, if I'm not mistaken, Moostache Flyer.
Moostache, like
moose, like M-O-O-S-E Stash Flyer. So really kind of a cool guy. He's also got it written on the side of his airplane. Go say hello to him, take a photo, and enjoy his journey. Follow along. Here we go. That was a beautiful one. Good, clean landing.
Jimmy O'Neill basically getting warmed up for the unlimited part of today.
Yeah. He is just so much fun to watch. And he has a beautiful airplane.
Right on the line.
Oh, we are getting a reversal from the booth. We're going to call that one a scratch, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy will not be happy with that one because that was a great landing.
That was right on the line.
I know, so perfect. But he now has an opportunity to take it up a notch in the unlimited class, so we still have more to see from Jimmy.
So before we head to the unlimited class, let's get your final scores for the sport class. Presented by Sarasota Avionics and Maintenance. Here we go. Sport class, Outlaw STOL, Frank Knapp. Combined score of 96 feet. Jimmy O'Neill in that Rands S20 Raven, 171 feet. Chadwick Wirtz in the beautiful yellow Cub that Corey and I keep gushing all about, 226 combined. Brian Moore in the S7S, 275. I guess they owe Eric Farewell $50 for that one. Justin Tisdale, 328. Now, that's a big improvement over his first scores. I think we're almost double that today. So big improvement over the course of the sport class by Justin. Now we're getting ready for the unlimited class. But first, we're going to take a little break. Actually, I'm hearing that we're going to do the lineup for the unlimited class. First at the front, CC Pocock in that 1952 Cessna 170 Bravo model from Nevada. Behind him, Jimmy O'Neill from Simi Valley, California in that Raven. And Jerry Fletcher, maybe the sleeper, because I don't think we got to see his true potential this morning. 2007 Zenith 701, one of your local boys from Yuma, Arizona. So we're going to go straight into the competition. Hoping for a little wind for this one to shake it up. Ooh. And above us.
I hear the sound of freedom. Looks like A4 Skyhawk and two F-18s maybe? I'm guessing. Totally guessing.
I would assess that. It's hard for me to tell on the one on the left side there. But
you know, there's Marines and Navies over there, so that's what they fly. All right, CC, that's a great takeoff as well. A little bit long for him, but the winds are fairly calm right now. I think we're back into the, the sub 10 knot winds. And in fact, it's just coming up on the screen now, 5 knots. And a little bit from the left this time. It's shifty. It's coming from the right on some of the rounds and from the left on some of the rounds. So you're seeing a lot of these pilots line up on the right side of the runway now and sometimes on the left.
Here he comes again. Off short.
That was fantastic.
I don't know judge there short of hair, but that seems like she made that one a lot longer than it looked here. Might be in CC's pocket. Is that CC's pocket?
That's funny.
And that next landing there, or takeoff from Jerry Fletcher, we'll have to see what he did. A lot of DQs in this class last time. 137, so he actually took off slightly shorter than CC, but Jimmy O'Neill with 110 for his fourth takeoff of the competition. Well, they are coming around. I want to talk about Flying Eyes. We got to talk about Flying Eyes, a great sponsor of National STOL. Corey's rocking them right now. You can see the biggest thing is the temples. They're flexible and they're thin, and they allow you to keep a seal between your headset and your body. Look at how they're going in and out there so easily. Here's Cece getting it over the line. It's good. Heavy on the brakes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely fantastic performance there from CC Pocock, turning in a great score for that landing. His takeoff was a little long, though, so we're going to see. I think that Jimmy, coming in here on short final, has a great opportunity, at least in this round, because guess what? The wind just kicked up a little bit. So he's got a gust front moving through right now.
At the end of the morning rounds, he was only 10 feet behind CC.
Here we go. Oh, that's close. She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
We're going to go to the
Too close
instant
to call
replay,
for
but that
visual.
landing really, the takeoff and landing combined, that is a great score. Oh, I'm really interested to see if it's a scratch. In reverse.
They're getting it ready in the booth to review.
Okay, here's
Here
the
we go.
replay. Oh, a little late there. Let's try again for the replay. It's a live show, folks.
We've got plenty of time because Jerry is just floating it in back there.
I don't know. Is he in the air there?
They're saying after the review, it's a scratch.
Oh, that's a bummer. That was a great landing. It's hard for me to see that, these close scratches coming down to mere inches or less.
Getting a little wind. Definitely a crosswind from the left for him. Looks like he's coming right at us with that crab angle. He's got to straighten it out well over the line.
Yeah, that was supporty. Woo. Jerry Fletcher working hard for that one. I think that was one of the best landings of the day as far as dealing with the conditions. He had a big gust come right on his flare, made it entertaining for all of us.
So they're getting ready to do the second round of Unlimited class. I want to talk about our friends over at AirTech Coatings. AirTech Coatings specializes in, the paints, fabric coverings, things that coat your aircraft. Maybe you guessed from the name of the company. But what you look for with them is that beautiful wet look, that shine that aircraft have. You want to be like me and be super vain and fix your hair in the reflection of an airplane. You'd use AirTech Coatings. They make paint fly.
You know, and I've seen a lot of the aircraft that are covered with AirTech Coatings process, and honestly, absolutely beautiful. So if you're considering, if you're shopping around right now for a covering and paint system to finish your aircraft, I would highly recommend it. And boy, Robbie Stanton, the owner of that company, just salt of the earth. Just wonderful good people. Great improvement from CC Pocock on that takeoff.
More what you'd expect from CC on that one. You know, interestingly enough, Jimmy O'Neill in that last round, a little bit less than 40 feet. I can't math right now. I need more Gatorade. Actually shorter than CC Pocock is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I thought they called that a DQ, though.
Oh, you're right. They did call that a DQ.
So here's Jimmy again on his takeoff. This is it. This is really his last chance to catch up to CC Pocock. So it's really going to come down to these landings because CC had a fantastic takeoff. Jimmy just had a fantastic takeoff. We have ourselves a grudge match. So these next two landings, this is it right here.
You got your money on.
Let's see what Jerry can do.
Yeah, don't
he's
forget
off short.
Jerry. That was fantastic. All right, high into the right. CC's making his final turn.
And to your point, CC's best takeoffs have been the same distance with 91 feet just now on takeoff 5.
Okay, there you go. So he is dialed in. It really comes down to this.
Going to answer a question in social there. Was questioning, where do we get the volunteers, the line judges, everything? You can sign up at nationalstol.com. We use all the help we can get to make this, pull this thing together. Volunteers, make it happen.
What kind of experience do you need to volunteer, Ryan?
I don't know if you need any. You just need a good
any.
attitude.
Comes with on-the-job training, good safety briefings, and it's a lot of fun. So if you're in the area of any of the National STOL competitions,
CC's got to get hard on the brakes.
Wow, this is great.
He's got
this
it,
is going to be so close. Okay, CC just threw down the gauntlet. Now it's up to Jimmy. This is it. This is where literally his rubber will meet the runway, and we will know whether or not he can pull off his upset against CC Pocock. He's going to have to push really hard.
He's going to have to push really hard. That last run for CC was 199, so his 160 still holds.
You got this, brother. Beautiful.
Over the line.
Those brakes on, buddy. Oh, that's so good. I don't know. I'm excited to see it. Let's wait for the judges'
Waiting
scores.
for the math.
Oh, my gosh. What do we got? 10-foot difference?
196. So he beat, on that run, he beat CC by just a handful of feet, but CC's 160 still.
He wasn't able to repeat this morning's performance, likely because of the conditions. But he had a chance. It was really close.
Super tight. Jerry giving it the beans into the landing.
Boy, as soon as his mains touch down, it looks sporty. Thank goodness for strong nose wheels.
I want to watch the replay on that one.
Hello. Beautiful, beautiful day for flying. Wow, what a great competition.
More F-18s up above us. They're not doing 6. While we are chatting here, we got to talk about Committee Coffee, another sponsor, brand new sponsor for National STOL. Their small batch coffee aims to make specialty coffee more accessible to the everyday consumer. Law enforcement officer owned, and like I said, a brand new sponsor. They're going to be donating coffee as prizes, and you can use coupon code STOL when making your purchase at committeecoffee.com.
Where can you get that coffee, Ryan? I'm in the market.
Committeecoffee.com.
Oh, and you can even use the coupon code STOL
right
when you make your purchase
at committeecoffee.com.
That's right.
Yes, the coupon code STOL, STOL.
Yeah, so use that coupon code on
the coupon code
committeecoffee.com. Looks like the Bush class, looks like the Unlimited's taxied back, but now CC's coming back. Oh, maybe he's just parking for the day. That's probably
We'll have to figure that out. We'll be just checking things out here. I love looking at the camera view here. We got Jerry taxiing through the sand dunes of Somerton, Arizona here.
Does he run a Duke propeller?
He does not, but you know who does? Well, maybe he does. I don't know, but it's moving right now. I can't tell. Justin Tisdale, though.
Justin does run a
Duke propeller, yeah.
And Duke
absolutely.
is a sponsor of National STOL.
Absolutely, yeah. Duke propellers are designed in France and assembled in the USA. Complete range of aeronautical carbon-made propellers. I think Eric, our friend Eric, has one on his Kit Fox. So, love to see that. We've got the Duke propeller Unlimited class results. Nothing changed from this morning. CC Pocock with a combined score of 160. Jimmy O'Neill 10 feet behind him. That's tight, especially considering the conditions today. Jimmy O'Neill with 170. Jerry Fletcher improving largely from this morning now with 267. So all in all, pretty tight there in the Unlimited class. And with that, things are wrapped up here in Somerton, Arizona for Outlaw STOL.
Thank you for joining us both in person and online. We'll see you in May in May Day
at May Day in May,
in Nebraska in about a month. So please go to nationalstol.com, check that out. If you're interested in entering, please visit nationalstol.com and sign up now because those spots are filling up quick. This is a combined competition, which is going to be a world first, where they're going to be doing 2 types of STOL competitions at one event. So it's going to be spectacular. So we really hope to see you there, both online and in person.
It's going to be a great one. Look for that. Again, like Corey said, nationalstol.com. Be sure to check us out on social, all National STOL, Facebook, TikTok even. You want to get excited about STOL, go hang out at our TikTok account. It's just like STOL. It's like I could just doom scroll on that all day long. So
it is so much fun. Thank you for joining us. I'm Corey Robin.
I'm Ryan Dombrowski. Thanks for joining me, man. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Justin is putting down improving scores every time, and he's dedicating himself to the sport this year, from my understanding, and that's exciting to see. If you want a really relatable story, start following some of these rookies now at the start of the season and see what they do through the end.
Yeah, I've really only been able to practice for about 5 months in the airplane that I built. And so the Xena 750, it's a hand-built airplane that they sell. It comes match hole drilled, and you get all the pieces, like a big Lego kit. Yeah, a lot of people know I fly an auto conversion, and so I have a Honda 1.5-inch engine for Viking aircraft engines. It's different, you know, I don't run on avgas, I run on regular unleaded, and has a gearbox, all that stuff, and so it's been fun, and so I've been learning it. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's been awesome. Aviation gives you a family. When you come into this world, you have a family, right? For me, aviation has kind of been my pickup family. You know, I don't have a lot of family still out there, and so the first event that I came to, they took me in, started talking to me like I'd known them for years. And what I've noticed is that's just how aviation is in general. Everyone struggled somewhere in their life to get into aviation. You didn't have enough money, you didn't have the training. And so I want people to know that, man, I did it. You can do it. I don't care about first place, third place. I want that most improved. I know it sounds silly, but for me that means, man, we've got something that I'm gonna wear around with pride and just say, look, man, I was there. I know you're scared to maybe get out here and compete, get there, because you never know where you're gonna be. My name is Justin Tisdale. I'm flying a Xena 750, flying in the Spark class.
We just got done here at the Outlaw STOL practice session. We're gonna go find some pilots and see how they felt. Winds are awesome, right down the runway. Temps are great, a little warm, and of course that dust is kicking. We'll see how it's affecting the pilots.
I'm Joe Eiding, it's a Rans S7, and I'm from Wickenburg area. So I'm just looking forward to compete and have a good time. I was in the Air Force and then I was commercial for a while.
It is absolutely dusty. I love it.
How was the practice?
It was pretty good. It was hot, bumpy. There was a lot of dust devils on downwind, on final and stuff like that. They were forming and then getting pushed from down north. I've been doing Outlaw for 3 years since I started it in 2021. And yeah, it's been growing and growing. Finally, we got the national crew out here. They made this such an event that I can be really proud of it, actually. And yeah, now I get to fly in it for once.
Hi, I'm Brandon Korn. I'm from Hearn, Texas, and I'm flying a Cessna 205 in the heavy touring class. It's probably the heaviest airplane here, and I'm enjoying it. The conditions are hot and sandy and windy, and we're not really used to that. But it's a great event. It's going to be lots of fun.
Hi, Brian Moore from Lancaster, California. I'm flying this beautiful Rans S7 Courier. We're up in the high desert, and we get those desert winds coming through, so it's not bad. When I had the commander, you get to your altitude, you hit autopilot, and you go like this. This is like you're flying. My wife says, sell that stupid big plane and go buy something and go have some fun. And I did exactly that. I took her advice. She was right for all the time. And I love it. I'll take this thing out in the desert. I've introduced about probably 8 or 9 kids now to off-airport flying. Sweet. Which is hopefully going to keep it alive and keep it building and keep it growing. Absolutely. That's what I really like to see. My goal in aviation now is to have fun.
I'm Steve Radenbaugh from LA. I'm flying a Citabria 180 High Country Explorer. But it's an acrobatic airplane. It's not a STOL airplane. So I could fly down the runway upside down, but I'd have to turn it over to land, and I certainly wouldn't land short.
Are you feeling it out? Do you feel comfortable going into the main event tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've gone around and around and around and around. I mean, a lot. Yeah. So, I feel good, feel comfortable. The key to this whole thing is not to scratch. Because if everybody's scratching, you're going to do well.
Jimmy O'Neill from Simi Valley flying a Rand S20 Raven. Winds have been pretty consistent, a little bit choppy, but it's good. Great group of people. National STOL's doing an amazing job.
You really are doing a great job flying this plane. And that is our main competitor. He's really got a lot of wins under his belt. We're excited to see him. He's a champion, world-renowned Maverick. Good luck out there. We're loving to see you.